What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I just reserved the 2025 Dodge Ramcharger. And on this episode, I'm going to tell you why I did that. And I'm going to tell you the only vehicle that could change my mind at this point. Up next on Roma Reviews. Okay, so normally I would do these episodes on the morning commute, but I've got a lot more to say and flesh out, and we're going to just put it on the regular channel as a regular episode. So last night I did make the decision to reserve the Ramcharger for our use case and for what we want to replace this vehicle, okay, which is a 2022 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon 4xe. And this thing's going to go back in about 2 months to Jeep. And if I'm being honest, I have loved this vehicle for most of the time that I've had it over the 3 years, but it's starting to drive me a little bit crazy. The hybrid system and the battery has gone through several different recalls and software updates, and this latest and greatest one has been kind of a pain in the butt. The system is definitely way too eager to jump into ICE mode and, fuel refresh mode, fuel oil refresh mode, where this morning, despite charging the vehicle overnight and having 100% battery, the 2-liter turbo instantly kicked on and it's going to run for a while. So, I'm not running an EV mode, and it does it all the time now on the highway. So anyway, a little bit of background, but let's talk about the Ramcharger. The reason that we went with this, well, there's multiple reasons, okay? Our use case over the next couple of years is that we want an adventure platform, okay, that on a daily basis gives us as much EV driving as possible, but when we do decide to go on road trips, we have no limits, okay? We're not tied to an EV infrastructure. We're not having to stop every 150, 200 miles, which is typically the case in any EV except for one right now. We'll get to that, okay? And I wanted to be able to leverage the electrical power at camp. I want to be able to go as light as possible with as little equipment as possible, and all the different fuels that people use and the different types of equipment they take with them to make camping a pleasant experience for the entire family, and they actually want to go, okay? But let's start with a couple of the vehicles that I was considering in this space, okay? The first one is I love Jeep and definitely considered going back to a ICE platform with the Jeep Gladiator because I want to have a camper on a truck platform. We just sold the Sasquatch Highland 60. That's breaking news for a lot of you. There's a reason for that. We may get into that into a separate video. It has nothing to do with Sasquatch. They're incredible. It has everything to do with just the style of travel we're going to do over the next couple of years. And the fact that our kids are now gone and it's just two of us, okay? So I'd like to go back to a truck-based platform with a camper on the bed, okay? A wedge-style tent, okay? So what are some of the things that we looked at? The Jeep Gladiator, the ICE version, because it's the only one that exists as of today. But I really hate that idea on a daily basis, to be honest, despite the Pentastar V6 being a very smooth, quiet, reliable, in its current form, powertrain. Yeah, it would be all right, but I want to drive daily EV. And when this thing is on EV, I absolutely love it. When it's not, absolutely just drives me nuts. I want EV to drive back and forth to the office and to drive around town, okay? So while the Jeep Gladiator was under consideration, at least for now, it comes off the list. The other platform that I started to look at was the Rivian R1T. And I love that truck. It's an absolutely brilliant product. Certainly on a daily basis, I think I would love that truck the most of any in the market. I've driven them several times. I've driven used ones, driven new ones. I think it would be pretty spectacular. The one drawback that the Rivian R1T has is that it just doesn't have enough range, especially in that quad motor configuration, which is the one that we would want. And if I'm being fully transparent, we would not buy new. It's just too expensive new, and the depreciation on the new Rivians is just absurd. And I know that because we've been looking at used ones, okay? Now, used ones with 20, 30,000 miles on them are still between $50,000 and $60,000, okay? That's pretty expensive for a used vehicle. That's 3 to 4 years old now and has been replaced by Gen 2. Okay, the other thing is with the Gen 1s is they just don't have that range. I mean, you're looking at, let's say highway, probably 250. But as soon as you leave that pavement and you try to go anywhere that's not on an interstate and supported by a charging network, man, you got a lot of decisions to make. And if I want to use the vehicle at camp to power all of our devices that we're going to take with us, I mean, the math just doesn't add up, and we'd be making all sorts of compromised decisions, and we'd spend a lot of time doing the planning. Now you may say, well, I have one and it works great. And I see a ton of people on YouTube out in California that do this all the time. California is a totally different place than Texas, New Mexico, and Colorado when it comes to EV infrastructure and how close a lot of the places that you want to go are to where you live. For us, hours and hours and hours of driving. Okay, if I want to get to Big Bend, okay, it's 10 hours. If I'm doing charging, it's 11 to 12. Okay, if I want to get to New Mexico or I want to get to Colorado, it's the same equation. All right, so it's just not the same. So as much as I love the Rivian and I love the idea of that truck, especially on a daily basis, and all the storage it comes with the gear tunnel in the front, I just don't think the math adds up. The other truck that I'm really intrigued by is the new Silverado and Sierra EVs because they have the range. They're 400 plus miles, depending on the configuration you get. That's a lot. And it charges really fast. And so the distance and the time spent doing all the route planning and all of those things and the ability to use that battery at camp, that equation is better than something like an R1T, okay? But the downside to those platforms, as it is with several EV pickup trucks, is that the bed configuration doesn't allow you to put a camper on it. Okay, they put those angled fins on it, and you can't do anything about that. Nobody's building a camper for those platforms, and that's really, really frustrating because I think it's a pretty awesome platform otherwise. Now, you can say, well, we could do the midgate, and you could fold that midgate down, and you could make a bed, and that's certainly something that I've looked at in detail. Gone and played with the midgate, and it's a fascinating feature. It gives the truck a ton of different capability and adaptability. But as my wife reminded me, okay, if you're sleeping in the bed like that, there's no room for anything else. And ultimately what we want out of a camper top and a wedge camper in a truck bed is the ability to use that space underneath in the middle of the night. If it's freezing cold and somebody needs to go to the bathroom, they need to crawl out of bed, whatever it is, not having to get out of the vehicle. And you have access to everything. You want to get up in the morning, you want to sit down below because it's 20 degrees outside, you want to make some coffee, whatever it is, you can heat the thing very efficiently. Like, there's a ton of reasons that we want that style setup, and the Sierra and the Silverado do not accommodate that. And I really hope that changes. I hope somebody comes out with a product for that bed. There is one company that supposedly has a bed cap, but it's built for commercial use, and you can't even find information on their website about it. It's not in their catalog. It's special order only. Ungodly amount of money is what we're hearing. So it's really not a great option. Obviously, there's the Cybertruck out there. It has a lot of the same limitations. The bed is not accommodating to much other than Tesla's own tent setup, and range is down. I'm not interested in the Cybertruck. We've done that review, by the way. That was one of the most fun reviews we've ever done on this channel. It's hilarious, and you guys should go watch it. All right, go check that out. I'll try to remember to link it down below. It is well worth your time. We have some hilarious characters that show up for this video, and they deliver. Okay, it is a lot of fun, especially if you own a Cybertruck, to be honest. And we were pretty fair to it, I think. Okay, it's not for us. That doesn't mean it's not for you. So where does that leave us? Well, it left me with Ramcharger. Okay, Ramcharger, every time I started to go through the list, ticks almost every box. Daily drive on EV. Standard Ram 1500 bed configuration, which means I can go get one of a half dozen camper tops for that platform. Okay? Everything from the entry level to ultra luxurious wedge campers. I mean, I have tons of options. There's tons of accessories out there for the Ram 1500 platform that don't need to be developed, off the shelf that you can go grab. Okay, for road trips, I don't have those limitations. Hey, I've got a 150-mile range, 141-mile range is what they're promising, out of a 92 kilowatt-hour battery for everyday driving and for short road trips. For longer road trips, 640-mile range when you pair the 92 kilowatt-hour battery with a 3.6-liter Pentastar serving as a generator. No range anxiety, no range limits. And that also gives you essentially unlimited ability to produce power at camp. It checks all of those boxes. Now, is it going to be the most off-road worthy platform? I don't know. That's what I'm still waiting to find out. Still waiting to find out trims. Still waiting to find out the pricing on those trims, what all the features are that come with them. Ram has promised a lot. They are doubling down on this product because they've pulled it well ahead of the pure battery electric vehicle, which is a great sign. And they've said they're going to take this platform and put it into the Jeep Wagoneer as well, okay, and the Grand Wagoneer. All of that is great news. You should be excited about that. That means they're very, very serious about this, and they've got to get it right. The only product out there right now, as of today, that could make me cancel my $100 deposit reservation with Ram is another Stellantis product, and it is a revamped, revised Jeep Gladiator 4xe. That product, if done right, if it arrives with additional range and maybe a new engine or an updated 2-liter turbo and all the learnings from all the issues they've had with this one, I could be convinced to go with that platform. Because remember, the Ramcharger is all new. So there's definitely going to be growing pains with that platform too. I know that. I'm willing to take that risk. I was willing to take the risk with this platform. And yeah, there's been problems. Like I said, over the several years I've had it. I've generally been very, very positive on it. So we will see. I would love to have a Jeep Gladiator 4xe if done right, because I'm going to get the open top that I'm going to be missing with every other platform. Okay? I'm going to get a more compact truck that can fit up trails and in spaces that the Ramcharger is not going to fit. I'm going to get Jeep off-road capability. I'm going to get front and rear lockers. I'm going to get that sway bar that we do use occasionally on really rough trails, just to address comfort. There's a lot about this Jeep that I love. I absolutely love having one. I love the way it rides, honestly. I love the way I sit in it. I love the interior. I love just the overall design ethos of Jeep. So if they get their act together and they finally get a Jeep Gladiator 4xe into the market, maybe I cancel that Ramcharger reservation. I don't know. Now, the flip side of that is you guys, as an audience, love Ramcharger. If we put out a 30-second video on Ramcharger, you guys are all over. You just eat it up. We would love to be able to bring you that content one way or another. And so that is part of the equation. I do think people with a Jeep Gladiator 4xe done right, with the right specs, people would love that too. Man, you guys love that Ramcharger. So we're sitting there kind of weighing those things. Casey and I talk about it all the time on what the future of the channel is going to look like. If you guys like what we do and you like these conversations, and you seem to, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Okay, make sure you like the videos and comment, tell us things, because all of that engagement really helps us out. It just helps things move along and grow. So that's our news for today. We do have a Ramcharger deposit down. There's a lot of promise in this platform. I hope we find out more about it this week in Chicago and with the Super Bowl commercials coming up. Like, tell us more. Supposedly, this thing is going to go into production. It's already in pre-production, we believe. We think the media drives are happening soon. No, we haven't been invited, and we have day jobs anyway. So we won't be part of that, but we will be absorbing everything that comes out of that and communicating directly to you guys. And we think these things are going to show up in the late April, May timeline. So let's keep our fingers crossed. That sure would line up really, really perfectly with this Jeep going back. And hopefully we'll be driving a Ramcharger and bringing you guys all that content. Okay, guys, thanks. Going to post this later today, and hope you guys enjoy it. Roamer out.